Hey folks, this is Steve Johnson, Open Maw Productions. It's been a long time since I've done an upload on this channel, but I wanted to reminisce and kind of get nostalgic. Over the years, fans, very enthusiastic fans, have tried to create their own Duke Nukem games and Duke Nukem mods for just about every major release out there, from Quake to Half-Life to Quake 3 to the various Unreal engines. There have been many, many attempts to make and remake either levels or character skins or whole full-blown total conversions based on the Duke Nukem character for other games. And more often than not, uh, if they're of any size, if they're of any ambition, they get cease and desist order and are promptly terminated. I do remember, I forget which year it was, I want to say 2005 or 2006, might have even been 2007, where somebody was working on a project for Half-Life 2 called Duke Nukem Source, and that was promptly shut down, and there was a big battle that went on there. Of course, everybody knows about Duke Nukem Reloaded, which is kind of a little bit bigger than any of the smaller fry community projects ever were. But I mean, it's still one of the grassroots attempts to make a Duke Nukem uh, mod slash game, uh, entirely based, in the realm of fan work, not an official 3D Realms slash Gearbox slash Apogee production. But few years ago, I uploaded a video on one of my channels showing off the Duke Nukem Half-Life production that I worked on with a friend of mine called DxFx, from 2002 to 2003. We got a cease and desist order and we stopped, um, which was heartbreaking because we did put a lot of heart and soul into it, even though it wasn't perfect and there were a lot of problems and we still had a long way to go. Neither one of us really felt tired about it. We weren't having those troubles that a lot of mod productions end up having, including other ones that I've been involved in, where the team starts to lull and slow down and get kind of iffy about actually finishing. We were there. We wanted to make it happen, and we had a lot of ideas. So it was really heartbreaking because I knew it at the time. Um, but what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you a little bit more of it. Instead of making a musical montage, I'm just going to show you some raw footage of it, um, because people have been asking about it over the years. They wanted me to release it. They want me to work on it and finish it. Uh, the problem with the what you're about to see and what was in that other video is I no longer have the mod code for it. The last time I spoke with DxFx, I asked him to send me everything that he had, and he sent me everything he had except for the source code because it was too big at the time to transfer, which baffled me. But hey, whatever. It was kind of a mess, as I understand. And to be honest, even to this day, I don't have very good coding skills. I don't know any language. I'm very much, I'll steal whatever I can from tutorials and stuff to try and get me through, which is, it's crap, but there it is. So going into this set of videos you're about to watch, just keep in mind this is all very prototypical. It wasn't even as far as we had gotten, but I don't have those uh, assets anymore. I don't have the final version that we worked on before we were shut down. This is one of the versions, probably 5 or 6 months before that. So we had gotten things actually even better than what you're going to see. But anyway, here we go. Hey, you folks, this is Steve Johnson, Open Maw Productions, and I'm going to be doing some quick walkthrough on Duke Nukem Half-Life. This is a prototype from way back in 2003. It's very, very rough. As you can see, there's even a graphical glitch there. Sound effects were nowhere near complete. But people have asked about it. They wanted to see more of it, so I'm going to run through what is there and kind of show it to you. Now, before I go any further, there actually was at one point a further along version, but neither myself nor the person I was working with at the time have that. So what you see is what you get. I'm almost certain this doesn't break, but we'll see. Nope. Now, you may not be aware exactly, but this is kind of based on one of the scenes seen in the Duke Nukem Forever 1998 trailer. Where Duke comes up on top of a building and you see the, you blow up the thing and you come up on top of the building, and there was a whole other location up here. Just very rough. Obviously all these textures are from Duke Nukem 3D, and we were planning on basically remaking everything from scratch as we were going along. There was at one point an actual unique storyline for our project. Very, very ambitious for just two guys to try and pull off. I don't know if this actually goes anywhere. Nope. The one thing you might notice is that everything is fully lit. There's no shadows, because just about every single one of these test maps was made by my associate, and he was a coder, not much of a level designer, so everything that he did, he kind of did at the seat of his pants. I wasn't much of one either, to be perfectly honest. I know a lot more about it now than I did at the time. Okay, and this level ends here. I'm gonna see if I can load up one of the other ones without crashing the game. Okay, here we have another level that was built. I'm not entirely sure what this was all about. Ladders don't work in here. And I think this is pretty much all this one has in it, but we'll go up here and take a look anyway. Yeah, that opens that, which leads to a hall of mirrors. There's nothing more to this level, which is why it's, again, full bright. It's nothing but leaks. So, onward. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this one actually crashes the game. Yeah, if one of them throws a grenade, it's gonna crash. Yep, there it is. Okay, let me see if I can find another map here. Some of them cause all kinds of random glitches. Oh, here we have a unique... This is a physics test on this guy. This is our version of the alien trooper. One of the things that's not yet implemented in this build is the dismemberment code. Not fully, but all of the monsters had dismemberment code. You could take the heads, the arms, the legs, and even do damage to the chest on some of them, which, you know, at the time it wasn't anything really new. Soldier of Fortune had already come out. It was 2002 and 2003 we were working on this. Over here was one of our most ambitious things that we were going to try and hook in, drivable recon cars. This is actually something that at one point I suggested get implemented into the eDuke 32 mod Duke Plus, but I don't think it ever actually happened. This particular version of it doesn't work that well. It does not actually hover. It still basically behaves as if you're a player with low gravity. But the idea was it had chain guns and rockets. For the section of the game that we were going to have it in, the idea was that you'd just be able to rain all kinds of hell on a building. Kind of inspired by the sequence in True Lies where Schwarzenegger takes control of that Harrier jet and unloads. We did get this a little bit further along. In fact, I do remember one time having a testing session with another friend of mine in multiplayer, and we were flying these things around, and that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Actually, before we go any further, because I'm pretty sure we're running out of maps here, there's only one more map that really has any major design to it.
15%.
Let's take a look at all the weapons.
60%.
Okay, what you have here.
Power 75%. Power 90. Power level is...
Okay. First you got the kick, which is self-explanatory. The one thing that I think we added into a new version of it, one of the versions I don't have, was that alt-fire was punching. I kind of wanted to expand Duke's hand-to-hand capabilities and make him a little bit more of a brawler. And it just more fun, you know. Next we have the pistol, which fires very much like a Counter-Strike style handgun, where every trigger pull is a mouse click, so you really feel like you're pulling the trigger. The alternate fire is a laser sight. Up next is the assault rifle, which was going through various iterations. It started out as a Ripper chain gun, just like Duke 3D, but we decided to go with an assault rifle based on the Duke Forever trailer. This is an F2000 right now, or an FN2000, excuse me. So primary fire is just a standard. Nothing fancy. And then of course you have sniper mode. Then of course you got the trusty Duke shotgun, which is using the wrong model. The right model is actually in the directory, but for some reason we were playing around with using this one. I think because we were going to match it up with the Pig Cops shotgun, but honestly I think after a while we would have decided to go back to the other one, which was again inspired by the 2001 shotgun. Only 5 shots in it because it's a short barrel. I like fooling around with that kind of thing. The freeze gun, this is a little, it's based on the crossbow, and you can kind of tell the Half-Life crossbow, but it does bounce. And when it does attack an enemy, it does kind of create a blue effect on them, but it didn't really freeze them like the original gun did. Up next we have the explosives. We have the RPG, which is not in the proper position, but it's again based on the look of the one seen in the 2001 trailer. And of course you have the Devastator, which is untextured but UV mapped. And then we created Duke's iconic pipe bombs based on the satchel charges. The one thing I wanted to change about this was we basically just covered the satchel charge from Half-Life with the pipe bomb model. And I wanted to change the code so that it actually, we threw it like the grenades, so that it felt a little bit fresher. And then of course you got the trip mines, which have one slight problem with them. Well, aside from the model disappearing, if you could see the model, the laser beam was coming right out of the middle instead of up above, so it's not, they're not 100%, but I mean, alright, now I'm gonna go check and see what that other map was, and I'll give you a quick playthrough of that. Alright, here we are in what will probably be the last level demonstration. I've given myself a full complement of weapons to demonstrate them for all that's worth. This is kind of based on a Duke Nukem 3D map. I forget which one we're looking at. Oops, there's a visual glitch. Isn't that nice? The door is open when you come into the map. I don't think any of the entities work. In fact, I'm almost certain this was map converted using a tool and not actually built. We'd also at one point had a recreation of Hollywood Holocaust that was actually in pretty good shape. But I'm going to go forward here and fool around and show off some stuff. Nothing's quite in prim prop shape. I mean, it is what it is. The skyboxes are, of course, converted from Duke Nukem 3D. Um, that's funny. We did intend to basically have Duke go on a very epic adventure, much like Duke 3D meeting Half-Life in a sense. You go from the streets of Los Angeles to the moon, and all kinds of stuff. We had a lot of high hopes for our project, but it just wasn't to be. 3D Realms has always been a very strong protector of their IP, and I don't blame them for that, and I don't blame Gearbox for being that way either. They have to protect their profits and protect their intellectual properties. At the same time, though, I think that they should learn to lighten up and let the community get away with a little more, because honestly, our project would not have hurt Duke Nukem in any way, especially given looking back on it now from 2003 to 2011, there were no major Duke Nukem releases at all. The closest thing you might say to a big release was the re-release of Duke Nukem 3D on Xbox Live. Our little project would have done nothing as far as hurting sales. Oh, and okay, that's a glitch. Yep, we just entered the level DN Co-op Western, but it didn't know where to put us in the map, so we spawned upside down at the origin. But that's it anyway. I mean, we didn't really have a lot more than this, but I mean, there was some, and it did get to a little bit more of a playable state than this, but people were curious to see what existed, so that's what basically existed to play, folks. It wasn't that much. If this project ever comes back, I'd love to do it. I'd love to even though Half-Life is old as hell and a lot of people don't play it anymore, I'd still love to do it just kind of as a retro thing.